much. Please have a seat. Ms. Sorgan, do you waive roll call of the jury?
State waives roll call, Your Honor.
Mr. Sand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. They appear to be the same people we started with. You can call your next witness, please, Ms. Sorgan.
Yes, Your Honor. State calls Donna Bjelland. And, Your Honor, I would note Ms. Bjelland has a medical condition that causes light to hurt her eyes, so she's wearing a hat, a visor, and dark glasses. We just ask that she be allowed to keep those on.
In here?
Yeah.
Have you come up here, ma'am? She's going to swear you an oath.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Please come over here and have a seat, ma'am. Watch your footing there. There's stuff. Once you're seated, make sure that the microphone is aimed at your chin and that the light is on the base of it.
It looks good.
Okay. My understanding is that you have light sensitivity. Is that correct?
I do.
And,
I get headaches from lights.
and so you need to have the hat and the sunglasses
Yes.
on?
Yes, please.
Okay. This lighting in here would hurt your eyes, ma'am?
Yes, all light. It would bother it, yes.
Okay. All right. Ms. Sorgan, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you please state your name for the record?
Donna Bjelland,
Please spell your last name.
Bjelland.
Okay, move that microphone with you, too, since you scooted over to see me. There you go. Okay. Donna, how old are you?
78.
Are you currently employed?
No.
You retired?
Yes.
How long ago did you retire?
Couple months, 2 or 3 months.
Okay. Can you name off some places that you've worked during your career?
I retired from the city of Palo Alto years ago. Then I worked at Telecare for 5 years,
Okay.
Cognizant for another 5, and RSI for the last 15.
Sure. During the time that you worked at Telecare, do you remember what years you worked there?
I couldn't tell you offhand.
Did you know the defendant, Nichole Thomas Rice?
Yes, she was a colleague
Okay. She was a colleague of yours where?
at Telecare.
How long did the two of you work together?
2 or 3 months.
And where were your workstations in proximity to each other?
They were open. She always came and sat next to me.
Okay. So could you please describe the workstations at Telecare?
Couple computer screens, headphones.
Okay. Were these cubicles, partitions?
They were open.
Open. Okay. And what kind of work did you do at Telecare?
We helped people. It was a call center, so we helped people with their telephones. And of course, we were encouraged to sell.
Okay. Who started working there first, you or the defendant?
I don't know. I think I did. I just remember her coming and sitting next to me.
Okay. You remember the very first day you met her?
Yeah, I remember the first things that she said to me, yes.
Okay. What were the first things that she said to you?
What do you think about a roommate that sets their alarm, locks the door and leaves, and you can't get in to turn the alarm off?
How did she seem when she said that to you?
She was angry. She was angry when she sat down, complaining about it.
Okay. Is that the only time that the defendant was angry about her roommate?
No, she was angry with her, I would say, on a daily basis.
Okay.
Something was going on. They fought a lot.
Okay. And how do you know that?
She told me. She said when they got into fights that Anita would go in and lock her door, her bedroom door.
Okay. And
so that she wouldn't, have it out with her. She'd go into the bedroom door.
okay, so Anita would walk away from her.
Yes, Anita would go into the bedroom and lock the door.
Okay. How did the defendant seem to you when she would convey these things to you about her?
She was very angry.
Can you recall another incident?
Yes, she was very upset because they had had an argument. Anita wanted her to get rid of the fish tank.
Okay. There was a fish tank in the apartment?
Yes.
Okay.
Nichole had a fish tank.
Okay.
And because it made too much noise.
Right.
And she didn't want to get rid of it.
Okay.
And then I know that on 2 more occasions, she brought it up in that Anita had turned the fish tank off while Nichole was gone. And when she came back, it had been turned off. So she was very upset, and they had it out then because she didn't want those fish to get killed. Okay. And
eventually,
it happened again. The same thing happened, and she said she turned it off again. The 3rd time she had turned it off, the fish were dead.
And how did Nichole react to her fish being dead?
She was very angry, and it looked in that anger, that time when she was upset, she said it was as if, I want to put words in her mouth. It was if that Anita had really crossed the line then. Okay. She had moved from being, this is my interpretation now, she moved from being the worst roommate in the world to being a really bad, evil person. That's how she acted. And
to your knowledge, how long before Anita died did this incident occur with the fish tank being turned off and the fish dying?
The week before. That happened before that weekend.
Were you at work on June 4th, 2007?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the date at all.
How did you come to find out that Anita had died?
She came in, Nichole came in and said that her roommate had been murdered and that they thought it was her.
How soon after Anita's death was that?
I think it was the next weekend because she had just gotten back. The police took her and her parents to the scene of the crime, and when she came back, so it was right after that, in answering your question.
Okay. So she told you that they thought she did it then?
Yes.
Okay.
And she said...
What'd she say?
She said, if I keep my mouth shut, I'll be okay.
Okay. Did Nichole ever discuss Anita's murder with you again? At any later time?
Yes.
Okay. And what had happened? Well, had she been somewhere that prompted her to talk to you about it?
When they took her and her folks to the scene of the crime, when she came back, she was very upset and said, "Do you know what my dad said to me?" And I said, "What?" And she said,
"Objection, hearsay, Your Honor."
Calls for the listener's state of mind.
It's double hearsay.
Let me make sure I'm clear on this. This is what the defendant said.
The defendant told her that her father said to her.
Sustained.
Okay. Did you have a conversation with Nichole about where she was the evening after Anita's body had been found?
Yes.
Okay. Where'd she tell you that she was?
She wanted to go home, but her dad wouldn't let her, told her she couldn't stay there.
Okay. And did she tell you where she stayed?
She said they let her come out to the farm, but she had to stay in a shed outside. She said it wasn't a trailer, it didn't have a lock on it.
Okay. And why was she concerned about that?
She said Anita's family could be coming for her.
And she told you this when?
The night after they went to see the scene, excuse me,
Okay.
that night she had no place to stay because her dad told her she had to clean up that mess. She was not coming back to the farm.
What were you thinking when she told you that?
Why the heck would somebody, when their 20-year-old daughter's roommate was brutally murdered, why wouldn't you grab her to your heart and get home?
Donna, did you have any further conversations with Nichole about this case?
Yes, but nothing comes to mind.
Donna, you gave a deposition at one point, is that right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you remember having that deposition?
I remember the deposition, yes.
And if I were to show you a transcript of your deposition testimony, would that refresh your recollection as to statements that you've made previously about further contact between Nichole and law enforcement?
Yes.
Commissioner Prochon?
You may.
Donna, I'm just going to show you this, have you read it to yourself, and then when you're done reading, I'll take it back from you.
Oh,
Don't read it out loud.
I remember now.
Did that refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have further conversations with Nichole about contact with the police?
Yes. She
And-
said, when she said they think I did it, but she said I had a key to the place. Why would I have to cut through a screen to get to her?
And what were you thinking when she said that?
I felt a lot of concern and a little panic because I remembered her saying that when they got into arguments, that I'm sorry, I'm lapsing on the victim's name.
Anita?
That Anita would go into her bedroom and lock the door, and she said I would have no reason to go through that. But I remembered her saying that Anita locked the door, so yeah, she would have to, if she wanted to get to Anita, she'd have to go through the screen to get to her if the door was locked. And that scared me when I realized that.
Okay. And did something happen shortly after that conversation between you and Nichole?
Yeah, that's when there weren't very many people working, so I don't know exactly what time it was, but she screamed, you don't want to get me angry. And I was shocked, and I looked up thinking she'd had a bad conversation on the phone, which it could be, but she was looking at me, and I thought, oh, she knows I know that she would have had to go through the window to get to her. So I was very concerned then.
Okay. Thank you, Donna. I have no more questions. Okay. Mr. Sand may have some questions for you, though.
Mr. Sand, do you have any questions?
She's right on the edge here. I'm afraid she's going to fall right out there.
Okay, move her chair.
Let's
Thank
not
you.
do that.
Thank you very much.
I'll go this way then.
It has
Over
happened
here.
before, so thank you.
And I would probably do it too.
Mr. Sand, do you have any questions, sir?
I do, sir. Donna, where'd you come in here from today?
Minot.
Okay. And you worked for Palo Alto, the city of Palo Alto before?
I'm a retiree from the city of Palo Alto, yes.
Out in California?
Yes.
Okay. You testified earlier, you don't remember the years you worked at eTelehealth or
No.
eTelecare or whatever it is. Okay.
No.
You testified earlier that Nicole's dad had told her to clean up the mess at the apartment and then sleep in a shed.
Clean up. He said, you better take care of this mess because you're not coming home.
And he made her sleep in the shed because he was worried Anita's family would come hurt them.
Found out the next morning, I asked her, where did she sleep? Because I was concerned about her.
Okay. So you're 78 right now, is that correct, Donna?
Yes.
So were you 60 when this happened then, 2007? That's my math, but right
Good
around.
math. Yeah.
Those are the only questions I have. Thanks, Donna.
Thank you.
Okay. Donna, just briefly. How's your long-term memory?
My long term is pretty good.
Now, I know Mr. Sand asked you couldn't remember the years that you worked at eTelecare, but you remember the statements from Nichole pretty clearly, correct?
Yes.
Why?
The amount of concern I had from the fact that they're two young girls, they're roommates, they needed to be separated, they needed not to be roommates. And it was escalating, and then after the fish, and then all of a sudden Anita's murdered. It set in my mind, quite frankly, because of my level of concern over what happened.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Sand, anything else?
No, sir. Thank
All
you.
right. Is she hereby subpoena Ms. Sorgan?
She is, Your Honor.
Okay, well, she appears to be, she's excused, so
Yes, she is, Your Honor. She's good.
you may come and go as you please, ma'am. All right, it's my understanding, Ms. Sorgan, that you don't have any other witnesses today. Your other witnesses are flying in this evening, and they'll be here tomorrow. Is that
We have
correct?
other witnesses. Yes, they're driving in this evening, Your Honor. They'll be here tomorrow morning, yes.
And the number you have tomorrow is 4?
4 witnesses are driving in tonight to be here tomorrow morning. Then we have 4 witnesses flying in over the weekend to be here on Monday. And then we have Sergeant Asham.
Okay. All right. Mr. Sand, do you have any questions with regard to that timing at this point?
Nothing right now, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm going to have you come back tomorrow morning at 8:30. I realize these things do happen, this length of a trial, this number of witnesses, especially with everybody traveling. So please, a little bit of an anomaly, but when you're in the business a little while, not really. But for you, it probably seems that way. Again, I want to remind you of my admonition. And I know how much you love to hear me say it. Do not converse with any witnesses, any party, or any attorney in this case concerning any matter. Direct any questions or discuss any problems that you may have with the bailiffs. Do not read about, listen to, or view news accounts of this trial. Until you retire to deliberate your verdict, please do not discuss the case. Do not allow anyone to discuss the case with you, and do not use the internet or other electronic technology in any attempt to learn information about this case or communicate with your family, friends, or anyone else about this case, and please do not form nor express any opinion about this case again until I give it to you for your deliberations. I hope to repeat the instruction at each recess. If I fail to do so, it still applies to you throughout this trial. Again, we'd like to start tomorrow at 8:30, so please be here by 8:20, 8:25 at the latest. All right? We'll be in recess till then, please. Jury is no longer present. This will be a perfect opportunity this afternoon to argue the motion. So it's 26 minutes after 2. We'll recess for about 9 minutes, give you a chance to get your heads on where you want them to be, and we'll argue the Rule 52 motion at 35 minutes after 2.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Nelson will be arguing that for the state.
Okay? Is that good, Mr. Sand?
Yes, sir. Bill's going to be
You're going to have young Mr. William do
Young
it?
Mr. William.
Okay. All right, then. We'll be in recess for 9 minutes. Thank you.